Hello, everyone. This is Callie Teegardin. Happy Wednesday. I am so excited. I am talking to Jana Short tonight. Jana lives in California. I'm coming in live from Sugar Land, Texas. So, Jana, welcome to this relationship marketing overview.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. We got introduced by my good friend, Teresa Ashman, and so she thought we would have a great show and a great time to talk. And we're going to be talking about a message of hope tonight, and I'm really excited to dig into that with you. But before we do, I'd love to tell our listeners a little bit about you. So you are a renowned global influencer and mindset coach in the health and wellness industry. And I can't wait to talk about how you got into all of that. You're an NLP, an RTT practitioner, a best-selling author, a public speaker, and the host of the podcast, Oh My Health, Oh My Health, There Is Hope. You are also a magazine editor of The Best Holistic Life. You teach your clients to become online global influencers, help them remove blocks, and how to start a love affair with their potential online clients. And definitely want to dig into that. I was intrigued by that. You were featured in the September 2020 cover of the Los Angeles Entrepreneurs magazine. Congratulations.
Well, that's coming out. So yay, everybody now knows about it.
Yeah, that's huge. You were in Monica Garg's Influential Women of the World Global Influencers 2020. You're in the Las Vegas Entrepreneurs magazine, the top 25 entrepreneurs for 2020. Most people are slowing down in 2020. It doesn't sound like you are. And you're really passionate about getting the message of hope into the world in a huge way, one health expert at a time.
Thank you. That's a mouthful. Wow.
It is a mouthful, but it is exciting. So let's talk about this message of hope. Why is it important for you to put this message of hope into the world, and where did the passion to do this come from?
It's important for me to put a message of hope out into the world because I know what it feels like to be without hope. And a few years back, 9 years back, I was very sick and in the hospital for over 2 months, and I had to have my stomach completely removed. And they feed you something called a TPN through a PICC line, and it's synthetic, and my body just wasn't happy with it. It started rejecting it. So my organs were closing down. I became malnourished. My hair fell out. And at some point they came to me and said, look, we can make you comfortable. There's nothing more we can do. Or you can go home and be comfortable there. I did not go into the hospital dying. I went in for this little surgery. And I felt like, what is going on? I want you to stop touching me. I want you to stop filling me with drugs. And I just want to go home. So I came home and I was hopeless. I was ready to die. I was hopeless, but I had this beautiful new grandson. He was 9 weeks old at the time, and he was our 5th grandson at the time. My daughter brought him to me, and I remember I went into the hospital right after he was born, and all I could think of when I was holding him was that he would have absolutely no memories of me. He would not know how I smelled, what it sounded like when I laughed with him, or like what it felt like for me to pinch his little cheeks and give him kisses. And like the little simplest things that we do every day that we like leave these impressions on the people we connect with, and he wouldn't be able to remember any of that. Excuse me. So I had this mindset shift that I was going to survive long enough to make a memory, whether that was a day, a week, a year. 9 years later, I'm here and I am creating the most incredible memories because no one's going to tell you when it's time to go, because it's no one on this earth's place to tell you that. And if they give you that, you've got 2 weeks, your brain hears that 2 weeks and it starts preparing. And when the 2 weeks gets closer, it's like, we should be getting ready to go. But I chose to not do that because I chose to say, well, I'm here right now. And right now is all that really matters. And I'm going to make a moment. I'm going to make a moment that my grandchildren, my family, or the people I come in contact are going to remember. And that led me to here. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm still here or how I'm still here, but I am. And as long as I'm here, I do as much as I can to get out into the world and share those messages of hope. Because if there's people sitting at home right now and they've given something really dark and they just don't see a way out, I want you to know, maybe there isn't a way out, but it doesn't matter, because right now you're here and you want to be able to create whatever that amazing time is that you have, whatever God's gift us with, and make that something really memorable and something that you're going to leave memories with others. Because I believe, I don't even know if it's true, but I believe at the end of the day, I am taking all those memories with me. So I'm taking good ones for sure.
Yeah, definitely want to take good ones. And it's so your message is really about being in the present, not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, but staying present in that moment.
I do. I mean, I still prepare for the future. Like if I have things I got to get done, I prepare for it, but I don't live there, right? I live here because this is where I'm at right now. And when I first started this journey, I like woke up every morning like I'm still here, like,
Right?
yay! And I'm feeling better because at the beginning of the journey, I was still sick, but I'm feeling better, and every day was just a little bit more and a little bit more. And so I got to tell you, this journey started for me in my 50s. And that was the best decade of my life. And now that I'm hitting my 60s, I cannot wait to see what that decade's going to look like.
Right. And you're looking absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
So I really want to tune into this. There's so many people who don't live their life being present today. Is there advice? Because we might be worried, and I think definitely during these COVID times, right? There's this worry, there's this extra fear. What is it with mindset and being present and being aware that you think is so powerful?
So I still, even to this day, catch myself doing that. Like somebody will be talking to me and then something pops in my head and I'm off on another tangent, but that's just how my brain operates. But how many of you were told when you were raising your children, be careful because you'll blink your eyes and they're grown? Well, it happens. You blink your eyes because you really weren't in the moment. So to me, that's what that blinking of your eyes is, because we're so busy. We're building our careers at that time. We're in our relationships with our husbands. We're doing whatever we have to do. We're not just parents. We're the nurse, and we're the taxi driver and the chef and the referee, whatever that hat is at the moment. And we forget to be in that moment. Like, what are we doing for lunches tomorrow? And you're just off, and you're missing those little giggles and that snuggle up against you when they're little, or even that little look in their eyes like, I need to tell you something. And we miss it. And I think it's so important for, first of all, when you get older, you're going to get grandkids, hopefully, if you're lucky like I was. And to me, it was a do-over. It's a definite do-over. So my grandkids call me, I don't care where I'm at. I stop and I am present. Like I got to go. My grandson's talking to me, because I want them to know that what they have to say matters and I'm listening. So to me, being in the moment and really staying focused on it is, yes, we have to plan for tomorrow. And yes, there's things that are carried over from yesterday, but really focus on what's going on right now, because you might not be here tomorrow. You don't know. The whole situation may change in your sleep tomorrow is different, right? So I want you guys to just literally focus on what's going on right now and absorb that, because that's your gift. Your moment is your gift. And so don't be poo-poo on it and think, well, I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll take care of that tomorrow. Live in that moment. One of the things, I hope it's okay for me to bring it up, we were just talking earlier, is one of my pivotal things was reading Cody's book, is Promptings. Oh, wow. If you haven't read it, read it. We even highlight it as one of our favorite books for summer. Because I miss some of those promptings, right? And you don't want to miss those. Like, you don't want to miss your child walking in and that little intuitiveness in you saying, there's something they need to tell me, because you're just too busy and think you'll deal with it tomorrow. Tomorrow might be too late. So I want you guys to be in the moment and just, love that space, that gift that you were giving. Listen to those promptings and act on them.
Yeah, I think that's so important. It's interesting. When you were talking, it made me think of my mom. My mom died at 70 years old, 70 young. She was very young. But she died of a massive heart attack. Here one moment, gone one moment. And luckily, I'd seen her a couple days before she died, because earlier in that year, it was February, and I have these Wednesday webinars, and she called me up and said, hey, can you get together Wednesday night? And it was like Monday. And I'm like, I already have this webinar planned. It's scheduled. And I'm like, I really can't. And I finally realized it was her anniversary. I'm like, I can, and my dad had already passed away, and she wanted someone to go out with her. And she was like, no, it's fine. I'll find someone else. Well, I didn't show up for her there. And I made a promise from that prompting to never not show up again. And so when my dad's birthday came on October 23rd of that year, I invited my mom over for dinner. Well, she passed away the morning of October 26th. Had I not had her for dinner, I would not have gotten that last goodbye of that last, or it would have been further away. And so there's so many times that we're, even 9 months before, we're given a prompting that we need to act on, because life is short. And I think too many times, and I'd love for you to talk about this, I believe in our culture here in America, in Western society, it's all about doing. It's like we should constantly be busy. We almost wear a badge of honor for being busy, right? But that's not how to live life.
Not at all.
Do you have thoughts
right.
on that?
I absolutely do have thoughts on that. First of all, we can only control what we can control. So if I'm stressing about things that are completely out of my control, what good is that? It's just not any good. What do I have control of, and what can I do with that control? And so I really try to focus on that. As far as, like, I have many hats that I wear. I'm a mom, and I'm a wife, and a grandmother, and an entrepreneur, and I am a global entrepreneur. So I'm like up in the middle of the night trying to make calls with Singapore. And so it's crazy. But to me now, I bet you, Callie, on your deathbed, you will not look back and say, oh, I wish I would have made one more webinar. No, but that memory with your mom, right, was so powerful that you're talking about it now, thinking, I am so glad that that moment happened, because I made a conscious decision to not miss those moments again. And so it's all you have to do in your mind is make that conscious decision. What really is important? I promise you, webinars are great. I love them. I'm on them all the time. I do them all the time. But at the end of the day, it's not what I'm going to be laying on my deathbed saying, I wish I had more of.
Right. And, everyone talks about this thing of balance, and I'm not really sure there is true balance in life, but I do think it's about determining what are your priorities and taking care of your time, because our time is our most important resource that we have. It's something we can't get back.
It is not only one of our most important resources, you can't save up time and use it later. You don't get more, right? It is what it is. There's only 24 hours in a day. So to me, when I make a call with someone, when I book an appointment, I'm always on time. I'm always respectful of it, because to me, that's the most precious thing they're giving me.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go back. You're in the hospital. You've had surgery. They tell you you don't have long to live. So one, mindset, you overcame this. But were there other things that you did with your diet, because you're at holistic living? Like, if someone's going through a dark time right now, what do you recommend?
I'm so glad you asked this, because this was my mindset shift change this day. I literally decided I'm going to make a memory. I was too weak to get out of bed. I got on my iPad and I typed in the words "desperate for health answers." And I was, and my husband is a veterinarian, and my whole family's in medicine, and they only knew pharmaceuticals, and pharmaceuticals were it was a wash. There was nothing more I could do with pharmaceuticals. And so I started finding all this holistic stuff. And with that came a lot of craziness on the internet. It's saturated, right? It's saturated with people selling you something. By the way, it was a beautiful product that helped me. But it was because that person approached me right. They made a connection, a real human connection with me. They asked me about what's going on. They got information, started sending it to me so I could educate myself on what it was. So here's the other thing I'm going to say. Saturated, scary place. A lot of people out there not doing the right thing. But where else in the world can I sit in my deathbed because I'm too sick to get up, type in the words desperate for health answers, extend my reach around the entire world globally and find answers? So you just have to be buyer beware hat on when you're going out there looking. But for me, that whole movement was pivotal for me. When I became a mindset coach and I went online, because that's where I wanted to serve people, and I went online and I started getting clients, it was really hard. Like, because there's so many others out there. And
Right.
how do I set myself apart? And every time I talk to them, I'm a mindset coach. I can read their body. I could see them sitting back, and like, when she's sending me this, big, I'm purchasing something, I know, and they couldn't even hear me. And I knew I was approaching them wrong. So what happened for me is I learned about what that one person taught me, how important it is to remember there are other people on the other side of the computer. We're asking them to trust us with their deepest, darkest secrets or illnesses they're terrified of, or they're trying to help a child. And we don't want to take advantage of that vulnerability. We want to really be stand-up people. And we also don't want to do any harm. So if it's not in your wheelhouse, pass them on to someone who can help them. Don't say, yeah, I'll help you if you really can't, because again, let's go back to time. I had very little time, and it wasn't about the money that people were trying to get from me. It was about the time they were taking from me, because that was more valuable than any money we had in our home. We would have given it all to you if you had the cure. So that wasn't it at all. So when you're going out there on social media, connect with that person first, right? Get to know them, build that relationship with them. And maybe they're the person who can offer you hope.
Right. What are some of the tools you use to build relationships in your business?
Oh, I love that you bring this up. First of all, video is huge. If I put up a beautiful graphic that says to you, hey, I'm doing a half off coaching and you can join for half off. If the people who know you and love you are going to join half off, I love Jana, I'm in. But the people who don't know you are never going to sign up. They're not going to give you your money, ever. But if I were to go online and say, hey, I am Jana Short. I'm a mindset coach. This is a little about my story. And today I want to offer you half off of my program. I get tons of people coming because I made that human connection with them.
Because you're authentic.
Right. They saw me, they heard my story, they know why I'm doing it. And they're like, I'm in. So definitely reach out in a real, as a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to start a hashtag called #HelloIam, where you introduce yourself.
Oh, I love that.
I know, because it's like we're going out there, we're asking people to buy our services, join our programs, join our Facebook groups, but we're not introducing ourselves and letting them know who we are. The other thing I love to use is I love to be sure that I'm personally touching them. And so one of the things I use is send out cards. And I don't want this to be a commercial, but it is what I use and I love it. Because after I collect all their information as they're booking their calls with me or their meetings. And afterwards, I'm writing notes in my call book. There's an area for me to make notes. Like their daughter just had a graduation or their son just had a soccer win. And I write those in there because they're important to me. And I want to know that I was listening. And the minute I'm done, I go in and I send off a card. Hey, congratulations again on your son's soccer score. Like we'll take whatever, celebrations we could get right now. Or congratulations on your daughter's graduation. I wish her the best, brightest future. And they know I was listening and I took the time to reach out and send them something really special and unique. So that's one of my favorite things to do. Another favorite tool that I have.
I love that, right? And I've been with Send Out Cards and using the system for the past 11 years. I was full-time corporate America and had a business on the side and needed a simple way to do birthday thank you and holiday cards out to my clients. My mom raised us as card senders, and I like to say I was a card sender by thought only a lot. Like I would think about it, but it was so hard to go out and get the card, or I'd have it, just wouldn't happen. And so I ended up hiring my neighbor's mom to do all my birthday thank you and holiday cards. And a couple months into what I thought was I thought this was a brilliant idea. One of my girlfriends, who was also my client, called me up and said, hey, Callie, I got your card. And I'm like, great. And she's like, that's not your handwriting, in that snotty voice, right? That only a best friend can do. And I knew in a moment a good gesture had gone wrong. I was trying to make her feel special. and I did the opposite. So I was back at square one, and I met a lady. She told me about send out cards, but I really didn't get it until I got that first card in the mail. And when I saw this system, I'm like, no brainer for me. And I decided to share it with others because I knew there are other business people out there like me who are looking for ways to create stronger, better relationships, but also try to find a way to save time, right? I think that for all of us business people, that's always the question. Not really, a lot of times I think it's how do I do more in less time, but how do I do more to make a bigger impact in less time? And that's why I fell in love with this system.
Did you send out, like, because I was a card sender. Like I've always been a card sender. I've always been wanting to make that personal connection. It was hard for me to switch over to send out cards because I wanted it to be in my handwriting. But here's what happened. I couldn't do as many as I'd like. And then my husband has an animal hospital. I would give him a stack every day, take these, run him through the things. I do not want to go to our post office, and just send them out for me. Well, one day I go into his office when he didn't know I was going to be there, and there was this big stack of cards sitting there, and I was like, are you kidding me? And so then I thought, it's really not his responsibility. Here's the thing. I send out cards all the time, and every once in a while I would get a comment, hey, thanks, I got your card in the mail today. Every time I send out a card, because you get to add a photo of them or a photo of you guys at the event you were at, I get a call back. Oh my God, I love that card. Thank you so much. And they really love them because you personalize them that way instead of, you can actually do your handwriting if you want to, but
Right.
you can actually, I don't do that because I'm just not that fancy, but it's more personalized because I've added a photo of them. Especially to what, what correlates to the two of us or what I'm talking about. And they love it. And before it would be like the same thank yous. They all said thank you across it. Or I'm looking for a birthday card. Too funny. Oh wait, that's too sexy. And no. And so now I can create what I want.
Yeah. So with that, I'm going to go show everyone how simple it is. This is a relationship marketing overview. And I really think this is a really big part of people building their relationships and staying in touch and building relationships, because we do business with people we know, like, and trust. You said that earlier, right? With the internet, people reaching out. And so this system simply can be done from your phone, from your computer. You have birthday, you have thank you, you have holiday cards, or I love the photo cards as well, where you can build your own. You can literally go onto social media, pull a photo. And the crazy thing is, we don't print our photos anymore like when we were kids. And I saw this photo of you and your daughter, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. I believe her birthday was earlier this month.
It was.
And so I can just put that on the front of the card. I can swipe to the left. I can add more photos. I can add text or leave it blank. I can go to the inside right, and I can type in a message, or I can voice text it in. Thank you so much for spending time with me, period. I really enjoy getting to know you and your story, period. You are truly making a difference in the world, exclamation point. New line, all the best, comma. And so there's my message, simple. And I can come in here, and I did add my own handwriting to the system. So I just scroll down. I can pick a font, or I can pick my own. I can come in here, and I can also put my signature in. It comes in a little obnoxious and big, so we just make it a little smaller. I hit save, and I am done. And there's the message, right? And you're going to get this in a few days. And I don't know, Jana, if you have that picture of you and your daughter printed, but if you don't, I know you're going to keep it because it's beautiful.
I am. We were at a bachelor party in Vegas, or a bachelorette party.
I love it. And then on the back of the card, I can brand myself and or my business. Right now, I'm branding our upcoming Relationship Marketing Grand Summit on September 9th and 10th. We have a huge lineup of speakers teaching about the subject of relationship marketing. I'm so excited about this event. So then all I have to do is hit the little paper airplane. I can come in here. I can send you a card. I can send you a card and gift. We have all kinds of different gift items, including gift cards. I can come down here and I can select you from my contacts, or I can add Jana as a new contact, but she's already in here. I hit done, I hit continue, and you guys will see my card is free. I'm on our unlimited heartfelt prompting card. That means when I send a unique card to one person, it's included in plus the stamp anywhere in the world, no matter if I send 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 of these a day. I hit submit. We don't have to worry about your husband or my husband or anyone's husband getting them to the post office. It's done. So when you first saw this system, it was because you read one of Cody Bateman's, our founder's book. But when you actually saw or received a card, were you absolutely blown away by it?
I was, because it had a picture of me and it was from Teresa. And I was like, how did she get my address? Like, did I give it to her? And then I'm like, where'd she get this picture? And she just went on my social media and got it. And she was giving me congratulations on something I had accomplished. I think it was the release of my new book. And I was like, wow. And honestly, she was the only one that sent me that card. And I have never forgotten it. Like that connection between, let me just give you a little secret. If you're on social media building a business, people don't buy product. They buy feelings and emotions and connections. And so if you're not doing that, you will not be successful on social media. I don't care if you're selling the most best product in the world, and you probably are, but if people don't get the right feeling, the right connection, or those right emotions, they will not opt in for it.
Right. And writing a book, that's a huge deal. So receiving something in the mail about congratulations on your book. And do you want to speak a little bit about your book so people are aware of it?
So my platform is giving messages of hope. And when I was first asked to write a book, I was so excited and I said yes. And so I wrote, cried over it, laughed over it. I had 2 chapters. That was it. And I'm like, I do not have enough story for a whole book, but I interview people all the time. And the first thing I want to know them, right? So I say, what's your story? Why are you doing what you're doing? And I was getting all these incredible stories. So I just reached out and I made a collaboration of stories in the book. It's also called Oh My Health, There Is Hope. And it's people who've gone through these really dark places and their journey took them to something really beautiful and they're doing incredible things with it. But I loved it so much that I couldn't stop. So then I created the podcast to go with it. And our podcast is 1 year old on Monday, and we've already hit 125,000 subscribers. So I'm so excited that we're celebrating that.
That is so exciting. Congratulations. Well, we're about out of time here tonight. So as we talked about, building relationships and a message of hope, is there any final words that you would like to share with our viewers, our listeners tonight?
No, except for if you're in one of those dark places, reach out to somebody because there is hope. I mean, this might be the place, but it's taking you to somewhere really beautiful. So just hold on.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Jana. Thank you for all that are listening and watching. You can find Jana on social media. Jana, they can find you.
Mostly at Best Holistic Life.
Okay, if you're learning, you need hope. If you're interested in send out cards, reach out to me or reach out to the person who invited you onto this webinar. They can help answer your questions, help you get started. But thank you for being here. Have a great evening. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye, guys.